Well, hello there, humans of his earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and hope you're lucky enough to be doing it too. Isn't this an interesting one? Today, I'm going to be talking not so much about tanks as some of the resources that are available out there if you know where to look. Now, I just want to let you know this is the latest and greatest in the form of map overviews, and it's a little thing that was passed along to me by Otis1971, one of the boys from Triari, who also happens to be a patron. He's a lovely bloke, and this is a map inspector app. It's Andrew Kapushin. Now, you might remember Andrew, if you do pay attention to these things, is also the bloke who does the good old Armour Inspector. Now, you can pick up both Armour Inspector and Map Inspector from the App Store. This is interesting in that it is particularly for Blitz maps, and it has some amazing features. And I want to run you through them. You can look at the maps in any way, shape, or form. This is mines, obviously, topographically. You can look at it from a 3D perspective. You can look at it from top down. You can see there's controls on the right there, and it can take a little bit of getting used to as to how you're actually going to look at the map and move it around. But once you do get the hang of it, it's pretty amazing. And it's got a couple of amazing features, which I'm going to run you through right now. The spot one is particularly awesome. Now, say you were in a tier 7 light tank, or a tank indeed that has amazing view range. And let's put a Japanese STB1 in there. Where are we? Japan, not Germany. Unselect Japan, Germany. Select Japan. STB1. Here we go. And this is pretty bloody cool. Check this out. Where are we? Back. Okay, now I can put the STB1 down on the map, which has a really big view range, and it will show me exactly what it can see. And you can see that it can see all the way up to the top of the hill, all well and good, but if it moves further along into spawn behind those hills, the parts that are lit are the parts that it can see, the parts that are dark are the parts that are hidden from view, and the circle around the edge, in fact, shows the limits of the view range. And it just shows why I don't really like mines at all, because look how small the map is. So why don't we try the same kind of thing instead on a different map. Let's have a look at a lovely map like Vineyards. And we're looking at it from an encounter battle. All good. Back we go. And we pop. Let's do the spot thing. We've got the STB1 selected. There it is in the middle of the map. Now, it's actually not much bigger. It's amazing, isn't it? Because Vineyards feels like it's got an enormous amount of space. But it's just the way the maps are laid out. It just goes to show that there is a hugely influential effect from good map design and from getting it right, whereas getting it wrong can be absolutely catastrophic. It also shows that the STB1 has a pretty amazing view range, and it's one of the reasons why you can see that it's often chosen in Clan Wars, and you can see my little yellow STB1 pointing around down the bottom there. And if you pop it over here in the area behind this popular little area there, you'll see that's a great one. You can spot all across that side of the map. Likewise, if you turn the map around and you have a look from this side of the spawn, you'll see a lot of people will pop in behind this little tree there, facing that direction with my STB1, and you can see where you can spot. Pretty cool, hey, very, very cool. But that's not all. If, for instance, you were using this for a Clan Wars function, and you wanted to talk to your guys, you could jump on a stream. You could set up a stream. You could get them all in Discord, and you could go, listen, guys, what I want to do is work out where we're going to go, what we're going to do with it, why we're going to do it. And to do that, I am going to draw you what I believe would be the best options. We're going to start down here in the corner. You can see where the green is. And I want all our heavy tanks to push all the way over here, around, and take this position here. Now, isn't that fantastic? And what a great little tool this is to actually to have in the kick bag. It allows you to see the Reds are probably going to push up to this cap here. And if they do that, then we'll be able to run through the middle of town, access the cap from here, and get shots into the back of them from here. What an amazing tool. Isn't it brilliant? It allows you to see the maps as well. And if you're new to the game, it allows you to get an idea on where you're getting hit from, why you're getting hit from there. And it's just another thing in the kit bag that is really, really valuable. I'm going to show you something that Andrew's done here as well. If you haven't got this one, you probably should have it, and that is Armour Inspector. I've paid for both these apps, and with good reason. I often ask for support from the community to keep me going, and these are huge tools for me. Armour Inspector particularly is excellent. The big mistake you can often make in Armour Inspector is that you don't have it set to Blitz 3.6. You might set it to PC, which has quite often different values to Blitz. Anyway, you can see here, this is the ST1, and it has the armor, etc., etc., and it shows you the armor when you're being shot at from, say, an STA1, which is a tier 8 medium. But what about if you want to see what the Type 61 can do to you? Well, this is brilliant because you can now see, if you see a Type 61, you've got to keep that lower glacis hidden because he can pen that, but the rest of me should be okay. But what about if he fires premium ammunition? Well, then you have to put in heat, and you can see straight away that you get another weak point opening up on your driver's hatch there, which is rough, and that he can now pen through the top of the hatch there. But look how much red there is. Look how strong my tank is. Look what I can do. How does the Type 61 fare? Well, you can just click the button here on the left and you swap them around. And you can see how little armor the Type 61 is, and one of my least favorite tanks in the game that can be penned through the mantlet, and has a huge big weak spot on top of a big weak spot. It also shows you the effective armor. It also shows you, if you are so inclined, the other cool bits, which say you want to check out a Russian heavy tank. Now, that's the shooter, sorry. Here we go. A tier 10 Russian heavy, and we don't want the IS-4. We touch the IS-4 button here. We choose the IS-7. Now, the IS-7 is a phenomenally strong tank, but I'm not looking at the armor profile here. What I want to find out about is actually the armor numbers themselves, and this is where it gets really cool for me. Is if you look on the side there, you will see what everyone talks about. You'll see the spaced armor of the IS-7, which is pretty bloody impressive. And we can take it a step further. We can hide the tracks by pressing on that, and we can hide the primary armor, and it'll show you this spaced armor section here, which is only 20 millimeters, but there's a big gap between that 20 millimeter space bit and the primary armor underneath. Now we'll hide the spaced armor, and you'll see that primary armor profile there. And that is 100 millimeters of armor. But again, it is angled. So you've got 20 millimeters of armor followed by a big open space, which means anything that hits with high explosive or HE will then get air, and it won't be effective. And I'm not going to go into the whys and the wherefores, but I know now why I'm hitting the IS-7 in the side and I can't penetrate it, because it's built to stop high explosive and heat rounds in the side of the tank. There's also that bit there, which is 150 millimeters of very heavily sloped armor. And then you have the tracks, and the tracks absolutely have an armor profile all themselves, and it shows you their hit points. And it's that kind of thing that allows you to make informed decisions. And I've looked at all these tanks in these situations. There's other cool stuff on here as well. There is a RAM thing where you can check out how you'd go if this tank rammed that tank there, and who'd take damage. The STB would take 106. The IS-7 would lose 0 if you rammed it in the side. All those kind of things. And it shows you the crazy numbers that you can come up with when you ram another tank. You can also see an X-ray cross-section of the tank that will show you the cool stuff, like where the ammo rack is. Now I'm going to hide the other stuff, and then I'm just going to point out the ammo rack for you, which is horrible in the IS-7. You can get ammo racked right through the front there. You can see all the ammo rack stuff at the front. If you shoot underneath the headlight in the IS-7, which is on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, or underneath the tow cable, and I'll show you where that is. If we go back to pen and then target, and we go, sorry, it's in RAM at the moment. The shooter must be firing a PCR. No, what's it doing? I don't know what I've done. Penetration. It's still on rammer. We need pen. What have I done here? You want to shoot about there, okay? There's different ways you can have it set up. You can have it set up to show pen percentage, which is what I had before. There you go. So you want to shoot somewhere underneath that headlight section. And if you can get a bullet through there, you're a very good chance of hitting the ammo rack, which we showed you before. And it's things like that which will explain to you why things aren't working or why they are working. Look at the armor profile on this thing. If it's, I mean, it's just ridiculous how strong this thing is. Effective armor of 300 millimeters, 385 millimeters hull down frontally, and 409 on the top of the turret spots, and the gun mantlet 774 millimeters. Anyway, that's two really, really important things to look at. Now we're going to have a quick squiz at one of my favorite spots. Tank Compare, Blitz Stars. And you'll see sock robber, tank-compare.blitzstars.com. This is what I use for a lot of the videos I do. I add a tank here. Now, I want to check out who's got the best DPM at tier 10 in a medium. So I can add all the tier 10 mediums here. And then change the stats or change the guns, do all that kind of thing, even on an iPad. It doesn't have to be on a PC, but the PC version works just Jim Dandy. The Object 140, and now we'll add the T62A as well. And you can see there the very first number at the top is DPM, okay? On the left-hand side down the middle, just under firepower. And it will show you the E50M has 3,100. The Leopard 1 has 3,759. And you can look along there, the 346 on the FV4202. And let's see how it is with Hesh, 4,353, and that's why the FV4202 has a huge skill ceiling and a very low skill floor. And then you've got the 62A and the Object 140 at 3793 and 3790 respectively. And you can go through all the interesting stats and figures there. The gun handling, dispersion. You can do it with double rations. You can remove rations from the tanks, like I'm removing on the STB one. All the fuel, the vents, the rammer and everything. And look how much an effect, how big an effect the equipment and such has on it. And you can add things like binoculars and vents, and it will show you your view range and how they go up. You can see down here under miscellaneous and extras, the view range on the STB1 is 345 when I'm running my binoculars and vents. I remove them and the view range on the STB1 goes down to 270. These are the kind of things that you can check out on blitzstars.com, tank-compare.blitzstars.com. Really important stuff and really, really valuable for the community. So those three things are excellent. Obviously, the Wargaming app is good too. It shows you a lot of stuff. The assistant for World of Tanks Blitz from Wargaming is really, really valuable as well. But that's just three little things you guys should probably be checking out more often. Two of them are self-evident. Armour Inspector is brilliant. Map Inspector is brilliant. And blitzstars.com Tank Compare is also brilliant. Anyway, boys and girls, I'll be doing more reviews, more things, more everything very, very soon. I thought that was a good one to have today. And could I just answer quickly too? I record using QuickTime. I then edit the videos using Final Cut Pro. I use a Blue Yeti microphone for my vocals, and I've got a little pop filter as well that I use. Oh, this is a pretty cool thing we're doing here. Let's do an interactive thing. This is how it all looks, all set up. There you go. I've got my little pop filter. I've got my Blue Yeti microphone. I get asked this question so much, I just thought I'd better do it. I've got a 27-inch LG 5100 monitor. Look at that. Isn't that just freaky? And I've got a MacBook Pro, which is under my keyboard at the moment, that I use. And I edit on Final Cut Pro. Just in case you were all wondering, because bloody hell, I get asked that question an awful lot. There we go. On Bushka on Blitz. Look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield.